Anyone who's ever lost anything, and especially anything that meant something to them, knows about that feeling of panic when you realize you've lost it and you don't know how you're going to get it back. You're listening to Mobility in Motion, a podcast produced by Dallas Area Rapid Transit. I'm your host, Nadine Lee, President and CEO of DART. Today, we are spending time at a part of DART that doesn't get that much attention unless you need it, the lost and found. When somebody is in charge of a lost and found and you go there and you're able to get your possession back, you're eternally grateful to people like that. We take the time and the resources to make sure that we hold on to objects that have been left behind on our system and find some way to get them back to their owners. I think that is something that means a lot to us as an organization. What really comes across to me is just how much our staff cares for the customers. They take their jobs really, really seriously. And as CEO of the organization, I'm very much up to caring for our customers, caring for our employees, and just the overall love that we want people to feel from DART.
We've had ashes. Somebody has left their loved ones on the bus. We've had prosthetics where someone has got up and left arm, leg.
So did the person come back for the ashes?
They said they was coming for them, but they never did. So we actually ended up sending them back to the funeral home. My name is Tashonda Dye. I am the guest relation agent for DART, which basically is lost and found. I have been doing this job for the past 6 years. Yeah, I've been with DART for 10, but I've been doing this for the past 6.
And how do you like it?
I love it.
What are some of your favorite parts about it?
The interaction with the people, just talking with them, being able to return their items back to them, makes them feel good that somebody with DART actually cares.
How about the prosthetics? Nobody came back for those?
We have a running joke around here that DART is a healing facility because they come out, they leave wheelchairs, they leave canes and other items they need. They never come back and get them, so hey, maybe they were healed. My name is Rodney Anderson. I'm a customer relations specialist. I've been working for DART for the past 27 years.
More than 200,000 passengers ride DART every day. And it's up to Rodney and Tashonda to manage all the things they leave behind.
But yeah, we get Bibles, IDs, credit cards, purses, lunch bags, AirPods, clothes, shoes, all the cell phones.
That's a
on
lot
the top.
of cell phones. Mm-hmm. Most of the things people leave behind are cell phones.
If we're just talking cell phones alone, in a month's time, anywhere between 50 and 75.
Wow. The Lost and Found is a small room behind the customer service counter at DART headquarters. It's maybe 200 square feet long, and it's filled with different colored bins of different sizes and different configurations. On most of the length of the room are 5 rows of bigger yellow plastic bins, and each one has a number on it, 1 through 31, for the day of the month. Anything that comes in on the first of the month is in bin 1, on the second, bin 2, and so on. And that's how they keep track of what's been there for 30 days. And in here are a lot of glasses. Yeah, mostly all glass. Is this only the glasses section over here? Only glasses?
Yeah, only glasses.
Wow. There's a whole nother set of 31 bins, slightly smaller, and only filled with glasses.
And then the other bins are just, everyday items that hold on to, like Band-Aids and
things that you
like
might actually need.
That somebody might could come back and say they need. Mm-hmm. Somebody could walk in the front and have a cut or,
Across from that, there's a locked cabinet, and it has a whole bunch of smaller bins in it. One just has wallets. Another section just has keys. And a third section, which has just the most things in it, cell phones.
Those are the things that people lose the most, cell phones.
Oh, my goodness. It seems, you could make a lot of money, like, reselling all these cell phones.
But they donate them.
We have a 911 cell bank, and we donate to them.
So when Rodney said the phones were donated, I was imagining they went to Goodwill, maybe they were resold, maybe they were given to people who couldn't afford a phone. But it turns out they can have a really fascinating second life.
So the phones go to a nonprofit in Florida called 911 Cell Phone Bank, get wiped clean, and then they're donated to police departments across the United States. And some of them have ended up in Vegas.
My name is Elin Green, and I retired from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department in July of 2023 after 30 years. And I am now working with the International Association of Chiefs of Police and the National Mass Violence Center.
Elin's worked with crime victims most of her career, and she's seen what can happen when you hand someone a clean new phone. It's a game changer.
Many years ago, we realized the incredible value of these phones. We had a situation where a repeat victim of domestic violence, she did everything she could. She had a protection order. She filed police reports. She followed through. But unfortunately, they were misdemeanor crimes, and the suspect would always be out of custody and stalking her. And he also knew that she was financially limited, so she only had a landline. That was it. So he cut the wires, and what he didn't know is that she had a donated phone, and she was able to call 911, and it was the first time that he was still actually at the scene. And he was arrested, and the charges were not just misdemeanor charges this time.
And not only can donated phones be used to communicate with police, a lot of times someone's previous phone is actually an evidence collection device.
Keeping your phone number and allowing the perpetrator who's constantly calling you to leave messages becomes evidence. Having that 911 cell phone, to give that phone number out and then be able to keep the other phone that's just going to collect evidence.
And once the original phone has evidence on it, especially for human trafficking victims, police are going to need that phone for a while.
Investigations don't get wrapped up in 60 minutes like we see on TV. It can be months. And try telling a 16-year-old, give me your phone, and that's it. So these phones can replace that connection.
So for those of us who don't get our phones back, maybe this is a bit of a comforting thought.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, nobody likes to lose anything this valuable, but at least here, it ends up helping somebody who really needs it.
What's the last thing you lost, if you remember?
Actually, I lost my phone on the train. I did.
Oh my
I
God.
lost my phone on the train. I got up and I was at the Ledbetter station and I was walking like, with my phone. And they have that app. You can track it where it is, and I tracked it, and it showed to be at a facility. Called, guy answered the phone. He happened to be working. He worked overnight, so he was asleep. So I was able to retrieve it, and gave him a reward.
Was this a DART employee that found it?
No, it was a patron.
Oh, okay.
It was the rider that happened to pick it up. I guess I was walking from the Ledbetter station. I dropped it. He picked it up. And he was honest enough turning in, I have it or whatever, and that. So you get that feeling, you know, that when you lose something and you recover it.
Yeah, I can imagine. So just a couple weeks ago, I left my entire purse at a pizza restaurant. And I only realized it when I got home. But when I called, the lady found it. It was even in the patio, like outside on the street. But I was so happy when I went back. Yeah. And I wonder if you just see people are just like so happy to see.
They are. That gentleman this morning, he was happy to get his cell phone back. And even though his wife was in the background, she was like, no, it's not black, it's red.
Who's like the happiest person to get something back that you remember?
I mean, honestly, they all are, because with the way most people's situations are, their life is in that item, especially a bag. Mm-hmm. They got wallets, they got their IDs, and all of that stuff is contained in one thing. And when they lose it, they don't know what they're going to do. I did have this one lady that I kept in contact with for a couple of months because her nephew was special needs, and he had lost his item.
What did he lose?
He had lost his wallet. And so I don't know if you know about special needs. They're very particular about their thing. And so he was venturing out on his own trying to ride the buses and the train, and he ended up losing his wallet. But we were able to get it back to him.
A few minutes later, a young man named Elijah stops by.
Mr. Elijah, how are you? What's your address on her? Do you remember?
On there, it's 819.
So I asked him to verify his address on his ID because I have his ID. And when they come to pick up things, they have to show me identification to identify who they are so I don't give the wrong thing to the wrong person. So he was able to give me that. Mr. Elijah, I need you to fill this out for me.
Yes, ma'am.
Elijah had called in a few days ago looking for his lost wallet.
Elijah, where'd you leave your wallet?
I left it on a train. I was at North Carrollton Station, and it ends there, and then you gotta kind of switch over to the other train. And I'd fallen asleep, and I woke up, and I was like, oh, I gotta go. So I just ran, jumped on the other bus, and then it took off, and I was like, oh, well, there goes my wallet.
How long ago was that?
It was about
Couple of days ago.
about 4 days ago, something like that. But I mean, I talked to the Dart police today about the situation and how I couldn't pay, and they actually gave me a pass for all day, so that was kind of nice.
The officer gave him a pass that allowed him to ride for the rest of the day. And see, and a lot of our customers, they get tired from working long shifts or whatever, and they do go to sleep. But the drawback of going to sleep, they sleep too hard, somebody can take their stuff.
Yeah.
And so, like you said,
Stop and you get a ticket.
all right, if I don't see you again, happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, be safe. You too.
Before I spent time at the Lost and Found, I expected that the most interesting parts of it would be all the weird things that turned up. But what really stood out the most to me is how seriously Tashonda and Rodney take care of all the things that are left behind at DART. Every few days, Rodney drives a big truck to each of the garages with these huge black duffel bags, and all the things that are found go into the duffel bags, and the bags actually lock. And so no one can go through anything. And there's a log, and then Tashonda checks the log when she gets the bag and unlocks it, that everything's still in there. It's just pretty remarkable that things that people leave behind get taken care of so well. What advice would you give people if they think they lost something on a bus or a train?
Call us, and call us quickly. That way we can try to get it back before somebody else finds it and picks it up. Because the longer they wait to call us, the less likelihood will be to get it back to them.
So let's say you're on a bus and you get off, like the bus is pulling away and you're like, oh no, I left this. Should I call like right away?
Right away, if you can. And I get if your cell phone, you can't call me. But at least try to get to a phone and call us so we can try to contact that bus, let the operator know.
So you'll contact that bus as it's driving?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
There's been time where Tashonda and I go the extra mile, say the customer is coming on the train and they're there, and we'll meet the train and retrieve their item. If we know it's coming there, say, yeah, we have, we're going to meet the train, bring it here, and then let the customer know.
And if the item has an address on it, DART will contact you.
If they have an ID or even a mailing address, we send them out a letter letting them know that we have their item and they have 30 days to come retrieve them.
I had a gentleman that was on a cruise. He used to work on a cruise, and his luggage got left behind for whatever reason. And he called me and he kept in contact with me. And I held this thing a little bit longer than 30 days because he talked with me. And he let me know, hey, I'll be back this day and I'll come get it. And yeah, we do. We take the extra step. We go the extra mile.
The thing that stands out the most about the DART Lost and Found is the amount of care that Tashonda and Rodney put into every single object that passes through their hands. Transit exists to make people's lives better, to connect them, to community, to one another, to the things that matter most. I'm incredibly proud to serve an organization that serves others. While Tashonda and Rodney aren't driving our buses or light rail vehicles, they are helping to power our connections. Here's to them, and to every other dedicated transit worker that goes above and beyond to make each rider's journey that much smoother. You're listening to Mobility in Motion. I'm your host, Nadine Lee. We'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to share your feedback, please email us at mim@dart.org. This episode was produced by The Glue and Neely Allel. Edited by Jim Gates, with music by B.C. Campbell. If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe and tell a friend. Episodes come out every other week and are available on your favorite podcast platform.